Are you running the meeting? Do you want to take Mr. Bridges first? So he doesn't have to sit through everything else. It's up to you.
Bridges, okay. Goes to the Public Zoning and Building Standards Commission of the City of Log Cabin will meet today, May 8th, 2020. At 10 a.m. Log Cabin City Hall, 14387 Elmer Road, Log Cabin, Texas. The meeting is being streamed on YouTube on the City of Log Cabin channel. Citizens will be able to comment and ask questions via text to 903-875-6501. If a closed session is necessary, the meeting will be reopened after the closed session. We will do the Pledge of Allegiance and then remain standing for the invocation, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. In the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day that you created for us. You brought us to this moment, Heavenly Father. We open our hearts and minds to receive your guidance, Lord, in every decision today. In Jesus we pray. Amen. Amen. Roll call, Renee.
Here.
Wallace. Here. Lee. Here. None here, so we have a quorum. Just go to item 4, approve the minutes from April 9, 2020 meeting. So I have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the April 9th minutes.
Okay. Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. We'll skip down to item 8, Mr. Larry Bridges. Potential of the owner, Larry Bridges, considering purchasing property.
Where are you, where's your property gonna be located?
Creek Fire, Campfire.
Campfire. Oh,
Campfire Trail?
Yes, sir. Campfire Circle.
Okay.
Campfire Circle. And you're planning to build on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What size house are you looking at?
Probably from 600 to 800 feet because it's an actual narrow lot. And it goes back and then the creek is in the back, so it drops down a little bit, so probably 600 feet.
Okay, and you have the one lot?
One lot, which one is one lot?
Okay, so what, 600 to 800 square feet,
Yes,
you
sir.
said? Okay, so I believe that's in a single family 1200. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think it's.
Yeah.
Let's go look at this.
600 on the paperwork.
That's section 8.
Uh, Campfire Circle right here.
Okay, section, okay. Yes, I know.
You remember on Broadway?
It's the last, it's not the one on the end because it drops down really
Right,
hard.
right.
Like this one right here, because it's kind of flat,
yeah,
the
right.
end drops off. So I can actually view it on this one.
Right. However, Is it 1275?
Yes, sir, it's this one.
1275?
Mhm.
Oh, this one here. This one.
This one right here, yes, sir.
1275. The problem is, it's zone 8. And the only places where we have, with this, remember we incorporated this now,
Mhm.
it's gonna be anyway. That's the 600 minimum.
It's 1,200.
And the rest of it is all 1,200 except 14 structural.
1,200 minimum?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's my only. Point.
Yeah.
The only solution to that is to make it
Yeah, 2 stories.
2 stories.
Yes, that is,
Section 8 is.
What's wrong with section? Yeah, let me see that. See, this is the problem. My hair's. See, single family,
Mhm.
there's only one cabin area. That's over here, section 4, and then section 13 as well.
Cabin,
Cabin.
600 square.
And cabins are 600 square feet. So you're trying to build, now, what you could do, if it's gonna be 600 to 800 square feet, you could have 800, for instance, on the bottom with a 400 area.
Little garage count is.
It has to be air conditioned space.
yeah.
Section 8 is the one you're in.
Right.
That's single family, which is 1,200.
1,200 now. So you might wanna look at that as plans. You're,
Two, if it's a
two
two-story.
stories, because your footprint is what you're concerned about. Okay?
Like the lot, we just walked on it, I know the lot is only about a year to the wall, you know.
Right, it's-
So you can get it goes, it's
Right, right. Yeah, it's an odd shaped lot, and the only place you can put it, and you have to stay within the restrictions of the lot and the restrictions of the zone that you're in. So, a solution would be for that lot is to have either a 600 or 800 footprint and then build 2 stories to get to 1,200.
Would I be able to put a trailer out there like other people have trailers over there?
Yeah, has to get approved. You can,
But the trailer is so long.
Oh, no.
you
Oh,
can't-
no. I thought you were saying, can you live in a trailer? No. What I'm saying is that we only have one area on the entire city right now that has trailers.
And you see trailers, you may see trailers there,
Yeah.
but that's.
But they're grandfathered.
They were there before the ordinance
Right.
was changed.
Yes.
Right.
Grandfather.
Right.
So how, as far as the modular building, I'll be able to
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you can go up. Yeah, you can go.
Modular is
Yes.
okay though?
Yeah.
A modular home is okay,
Yeah.
built on site, right?
On side or prefab.
Or prefab that brought in. Yeah, you can look at something like that that will give you 1,200 minimum square feet.
Living
Living
area, not that kind of attic, you know, it's actually a
Air conditioned space.
residential space.
And till you get to the back, then it drops it.
It drops off.
Okay, sir, so I guess that's it.
Well, yeah, and then once you get your plans, once you decide what you're gonna do, if it's a long lot and you can make it so that your footprint will give you the maximum within the restrictions of the easements, then if you put that down, then you can go up this, whatever additional space you need for that 1,200 square feet.
Question two, there's no height for out there.
I mean, theoretically, you could put an elevator in and go a couple of stories if you want to.
Okay, I guess I'll come back and see you after I buy the property and go from there. One more question, do you guys clean off those lots? Got a crew the city crew that comes to clean those lots off?
The
No,
That's your.
That's-
Yeah, you just have to, like, if you go like to, Barry's, they have, cards, you know, different contractors and different people that do that.
Okay.
Get some bids on it, yeah.
Yeah, and just get some bids on it, ask around, people know, you know, by word of mouth.
All right, thanks a lot, I sure appreciate your help.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Let's see. Okay, we'll skip over to, item 6. Property owner Jared Nisbet,
Yes, sir.
14291 West Travis, request to install a storage shed. Two hundred square feet.
Yes, the one that has all the paperwork. Great. That's one question. Okay, sir, you've got some really good paperwork, very detailed here, thank you. But the one question I have is the last paper shows a mo- diagram of the house, of the shed with 40 feet. Is that gonna be a 40-foot? Is it gonna have an extension on it?
Well, it's gonna have an awning on each end.
Right.
I mean, the overall roof is gonna be 41 feet. but the
Okay.
enclosed space is gonna be 20 feet by 20.
Right. So you're still within, because everything shows the storage side of it, but your roof line's gonna be 40 feet long all the way down,
Right.
right? So your post really is 40 feet from point to point, or 41 feet, really, so it was. That was my question here.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
When everything looked like it was referring to what was just the storage area,
Right.
but we also have to make sure that you're staying within the limits of the property for easements, those kinds of things.
Or it's inside my fence.
It's inside your fence line.
So this, that you show on this, you show the 20 by 10. Is this a fence?
Yes. This is the fence.
Okay, and this is Travis out here. So the front of the 40 feet is gonna be here, inside the fence?
It's inside the fence. Yeah, there's already a pre-existing concrete slab there that's 10 by 41.
Oh.
And so, whenever I bought the lot, it was already there. Those lots that I had, they had homes on that one time, about that.
So my question is this, so is the open portion of your roof line gonna be going this way in the back of your lot? In other words, it's gonna go this way?
No, I mean, this is,
In other words, it's gonna be like this?
yeah, on that other piece of paper there, there's a diagram of it. Just in that paperwork there, what,
This
the
one?
actual C&H carport sent over. Yes, this here, this is what it would be like here.
So that's gonna be next to your house, parallel to your house.
So it's open on both ends, so.
Yeah, this is parallel paths.
Yeah, so it's gonna be like this, then coming out,
Okay, the storage is in the middle.
and then
Right.
out this
Yeah.
way.
I got
Yeah, I'm gonna have an awning off the back, little, like a little porch.
Porches front and back.
Right.
So this is the open areas, it's not like a carport, it's more just an open area. So they have to park the car in.
Well, I mean, it's 10 by 20, it's 10 foot wide,
Okay.
that slab is 10 foot wide. I don't plan on parking cars back there, I plan eventually on my driveway there, it's concrete. I'm gonna put a 2-car garage on that.
But your porch is only gonna be at 10 by 10, right? Each one of them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all gonna be one piece, I mean, that concrete slab, like I said, is 41 foot long by 10, storage space in the middle of it, only gonna be 20 foot long. So have
Might be able to
put
put a
on
golf
each
cart
side.
on there, but that's about it.
Yeah, I don't even have a gate to be able to get even a golf cart or, something that size back there. Anyway, I can barely get my riding mower back there.
So is this a gate right here?
Yes, that's a gate right there. I have a gate right there and I have a regular walk-through gate right
Just a walk-through. Okay.
Well, that, I mean, it hinges on wheels, it's an 8-foot section.
Oh, I mean, we're
But,
back there.
The back porch that the Clayton Homes put on it covers that last of it, so like I said, I can barely get my riding mower through there.
And all this is your fence is way back from the
Oh, yeah.
property line.
And the pictures show that, and I guess they came out with pictures of it.
We walked it, me and the chief walked it.
We're talking about from the property line, not from the street.
Right.
Right, as far as the setbacks?
Yes,
Okay.
so we took the tape measure out and measured everything.
Oh, good.
This is where the fence is now. The street's way up here.
In your
You
driveway.
can see the street here, where
Okay.
the mailbox is. It's at least, I would say 75 to 100 feet back.
Okay, these were the ones. I was just concerned about this, I was looking at three different. I mean, it's great, but you have the storage itself, and then they're actually, this one showed 20 more feet of open area, covered area. And then this one, actually, what you're gonna do is you're gonna have 10 on each side.
Right.
Okay, okay, so, all right.
So,
Yeah, right now I have a smoker on wheels, and it's just back there. I think.
Okay.
I won't be able to get it out right now, and eventually I'll put in a sliding gate. So, but that's basically what that one end is for. I'm gonna put my smoker on that other end and have a patio area on one.
So it looks like the easements are okay then on it.
Okay.
yeah, I don't.
And this was slab from a previous home that was on the same lot, right?
Yeah, actually ended up,
So it's gonna
those two
be,
lots that I bought ended up having 3 different
it's gonna,
slabs of concrete on them.
it's gonna be sitting behind the fence here then, right? Back over here.
Right, yeah, where you see this, I've got a, I guess one of those, carport.
Yep.
Movable little cheap carport, probably right there. The wind and weather is taking the top of it off, but you can see
About where it's gonna sit, yeah.
Your, these two lots we're talking about, so you got the house in this one, this is where the storage is gonna be. Okay. Garage, I know it's not part of this. but-
Oh, no, I mean, eventually I'm gonna put a 2-car garage on my driveway there.
Where the storage, old storage building is now.
Yeah.
In front of your house?
Mhm.
Or in front of your house?
Yeah. Just in the place of or in front of that little storage building.
Right.
The little building gonna stay there.
I don't know, I haven't decided yet, like, you know, this will be a year or so from now.
That's future anyway, I was just
Once I
curious.
get this one paid off,
Right.
I'll move on to other things.
And that issue is gonna be how much distance it has from the road structure.
That's why I was
Yeah,
asking.
Yeah.
Or from the property line.
Property line, not from the street.
Right.
Okay. I don't see any issues, looks like it's gonna be a nice,
Yeah, I saw it.
I like the picture of the open on both ends, just,
Mr. Smoker will come over for barbecue.
yeah.
I used to do competitions, barbecue.
Oh, yeah?
There in Heath. Yeah. I don't know, we got first place 3 years in a row, or something like that, boys, did it, I just, my little girl now, and family, friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Well, I was trying to figure out where it was gonna sit, actually, but yeah. Anybody has any issues with this? This is great.
I drove by there one day.
Make a motion we, approve.
Second.
Any other questions, discussion?
So,
All in favor? Motion passed.
just on that garage in the future, when you get to that,
Mhm.
you have to come back. and we'll
Oh,
see
yeah,
where-
yeah.
See where we stand.
It was
with
the
it.
same way on the fence and, when I had the house moved in.
Yeah, because you
Yeah,
have to
thank
stay
you
off
for all
so
this.
far, off the thin line, yeah.
Thanks for all the.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
great.
Awesome.
We don't-
I wish everybody would do
Thank
that.
y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try to stay on top of it.
It's a lot easier when it's.
Makes it a lot easier.
Everybody work together on that one.
Thank you, sir. I
Appreciate
appreciate it.
it.
All right, well, you're approved.
Okay, so who do I have?
Up front, once I get your permit ready, just.
Well, y'all gonna open it today? I know usually y'all close on Friday, but y'all be open all day this Friday?
Okay, I'll be here.
So you brought
Get
it,
it done.
you brought it.
Yeah. Great. All right, thank you.
Thank
you.
All right, appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Mr. Wood's not here, is he?
Oh, you here?
I don't see him.
Barry Wood. There's a gentleman sitting in front.
Somebody up front?
There's someone,
Somebody out there.
yeah, it might be him.
See, this is the property. It's all questions I have.
House involved here.
I don't see where the house is on it, I just see that that's what he's gonna put on it. But without asking him, I don't know. He's-
I drove by this one, I couldn't figure it out.
Is there a house on the lot? Or is there a house on the next lot or what?
Well, it's on the small lots, you know, so I couldn't figure
Well, he's got 626 and 627
exactly
on the
what.
lot, so he has two, and it's on City Bowl. City Bowl.
667.
Oh, right here. See? And this is the street. He's got where everyone that's been on it right now, I mean, some of them are just right up to the street. So have their parking.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
One showed him fine. Yeah, basically.
But see, they're not bringing people out. So,
I don't know.
That's what the general manager, and we have to get checked, you know, for COVID stuff every morning. We get a sticker, and the general manager did it this morning, so he used his general manager. I'll suck it, he's finished.
If I guess on Mr. Wood.
So,
So Raleigh, you've already been out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raleigh.
Yeah, me and the chief, once again, we went out, did the measurements and everything on this, and he falls within the guidelines.
Mr. Wood?
Yes.
Okay.
so this is, yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Sitting Bull.
So this is on the,
So the
on the,
fence
I
is,
saw it on the map, I'm just.
yeah, the fence is like right at the roadway. They were really close.
Yeah, pretty close to the
But is
end of
that-
the roadway, yeah.
Is that over the property line?
Yes,
The fence is over the property line?
yes, ma'am.
So Raleigh, is this Sitting Bull right here? Is this Sitting Bull or which way we are we?
That's what
No,
I-
that's the back fence.
This is the back fence.
That's the
So
back
this-
fence.
So this is Sitting Bull up here then?
Yeah, Sitting Bull.
Okay.
So how far,
It's 36 feet from the fence to where the opening of the building will be.
Okay,
fence,
but the fence, where's the property line?
And
where's
there's
the
a
fence? and
property
where's the
line.
property line?
The property line is out here by the roadway.
Yeah.
See where it says property line?
And normally there's sometimes 5 or 10 feet from the road to the property line.
Right.
Is that the case here roughly?
Roughly, yes.
And is there a house?
Yeah, there's a mobile home.
Oh, there is a mobile home?
Yeah.
Which lot is it
The
on?
paperwork, if you read 39 feet from the
Oh,
house.
And then, so this is the
And there
next,
Oh.
wasn't enough blocks, for 39 feet.
Okay.
So, so the house sits over here.
okay, so there is a second lot here, yeah.
Yes.
so-
In the house, so this, the shed's 36 feet from
From
the
the
fence.
fence.
The fence is back or across the property.
No,
Back
it's
from the
back
property
from
line.
the property line, yes.
Okay. In the house, is it further, or which direction from the,
39 feet from here. There wasn't enough
but I'm
block.
talking about
So the
this one,
house,
I'm talking about this
oh,
one.
the house sits, even with the fence.
So the house is way up here.
No, sir, over here, right here. Sits right
It's
here.
right here.
It goes back.
I thought this was a fence.
No, it's 36 feet to the fence. It's,
So the house is sitting here.
Okay, but we got some, something about fence right there.
so it sits there, but the house sits behind the fence. In the picture.
No question?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but look, if you do it this way, like this, you get this.
I'm not talking about sideways, I'm talking about how far the house is towards the front of the fence. I'm not talking about side, I'm talking about front.
In the street,
Is the house like this, or is the house way up here like this? Is this sitting back, or is this sitting?
Well,
That-
I said
Where's
the
the
house
house?
is sitting behind the fence line this way.
This is sitting back from the front door. So, like. If this is the fence, the mobile home, it's
Okay, I don't know.
Well, what do you mean, you know, the house is sitting like right here, isn't it?
yes, it's
Yeah.
behind the fence.
Behind the fence
The
line.
only question is how, well, is this?
this is, wait a minute, right, this says that the fence line is up here,
Okay,
so that's why
right.
I'm confused.
Yeah, this is right here, okay, so. You count the 30, this is the fence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I mean, that's okay, it's just 36, whatever.
And then 39 is over this way, goes to the house. And
Does the house sit this way?
it sits like this, this is the house. This is the fence, the house sits like
Okay.
this.
There you go.
Okay, that's what we
So the
were,
house comes way up here.
yeah,
Yeah.
so here's the house,
That's what I was looking for.
Mhm.
that's 39 feet.
All right.
Okay,
The
so,
house sits almost all the way to the front of the property
Yes.
line?
and the fence,
There's enough room there to park a small car. Can't park my pickup there, but you can park a small
in
car.
front of the car, in front of
And this is what's
In
gonna.
front of the house.
This is gonna be the actual
Yes, that's
assembled
the
line. It's gonna be assembled line.
Yes.
Okay.
So the house, not, the house is already there, we can't change that,
No.
but it is fairly close to the front property line, there's barely room to park the car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew everything was really
You can-
close.
Yeah, that's that way on a lot of the
Yeah.
city
You
malls.
get barely, pull it up almost parallel. to the street.
So if this were today, we couldn't put the house.
No, no,
Okay.
no.
If this is coming back, and, okay, all right. And now, so this is the kind of building it's gonna be?
Yeah.
Actually, mine is not a old building or.
No, that's
It's a
it.
new building?
Yes, it's a new building.
And it is
Well,
7.6,
by today's
how is that?
standard, the house would be not within,
Right.
but the shed certainly. is. Yeah.
So that's
So
all we're dealing with is a shed.
it's all we're dealing with, the shed.
7'5" by 7'6". On the shed.
Just far enough off the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looks like it.
I don't see any issue.
I don't see an issue. Okay. I'll make the motion that we approve, Barry D. Wood's new shed to be installed, and he meets all the requirements. Looks like.
Second,
Any further questions, discussion?
All in favor?
Fine.
Motion passed. Item 6. Oh, sorry, item 5. Update to ordinance 31, zoning and planning.
That's our standing item that's laid on.
That's our standard.
I'd like to suggest we have a, if all we all want to do this or not, but we have a workshop, just to go through and just paragraph or section by section, just talk about.
We're only taking all day.
Not with the
I like
intention,
that.
not even with the intention of finishing, but
Right.
To get started.
to get to,
This is break.
because I mean, I've got lots of notes, I've added some notes from the last meeting, and if we could just, what I run into every time I look through this, and I can look at new things to mark on my sheet, I run into things like, well, last time it came up, remember we have in there, you can't have a storage building greater than 200 square feet, which isn't accurate at all.
Not
You
because-
can't even get a garage.
Yeah, I
A lot
mean,
of
that's
times
like
now.
a one-car garage at
Right.
best.
Right.
And so, you know, we need to take that out, but then you say, okay, in back in the rates where we charge for permits, we talk about greater than 200 square feet, so obviously the intent is they have greater than 200. But then it raises questions like, let's just an example, how big of a storage shed can you have? If you have, let's say you have a very small mobile home that you've had there, this is grandfathered, and let's say it's the smallest you could, but I used to have a mobile home that was pretty small.
$3.99 is.
And not one of these double wides or anything, but I'm talking about a little
Right.
small mobile home. that's
800 square feet.
And then you want, but you have maybe 3 lots, and you want to put a 800 square foot storage building on it, or 1,000 square foot, or 1,200, 2,000.
Well,
We need to talk about
Yeah.
what we want to have on there.
Yeah.
We
you
want
have the same
a huge
situation.
storage building, a little bitty house. You know, we just need to talk about, we want it ratioed by property or size of your residence, or, I don't know what we want, but we just need to talk through things like that.
You got the same situation though, where you have a mobile home and they've got multiple storage buildings.
How many, what size?
You know, they may have 5 or 6 of them.
You almost have to have almost like an index to say when you're referring to this verbiage, that's what you come up with all your notes, is that we're not saying the same thing consistently.
Yeah.
And what does this mean when we say a shed, and how big can a shed be?
And I didn't mean to get hung up on details of that one
Right.
item, I was using that as an example.
Right.
Yeah.
There are tons of things in there like that, if we just go through informally as a group, and section by section, and say, what do we mean by this? What do we want to mean by this? And how do we want to word this? And somehow I don't mind having the master list and making these notes and changes on it, because I've got tons of them already, but every time I go through, I'm thinking, well, if I were doing it, I'd say this, but I don't know what the group wants. Fence is a great example. Do you want a fence like we have down the street on a property with no building on it? And do you want a fence that comes out within X number of feet of the property line? Or do you want to make sure the fence doesn't go beyond the front of the house?
Right.
Just questions like that, you know, we can't really write this until we know what we mean as
Because
a group.
almost every that I've noticed, possible example this town has, as far as, we talk about the property line, we talk about the street, we talk about how we have, that there's an easement, we talk about this 5-foot rule on the side, which I'm not sure should
We need
be.
to get rid of that.
I think that should be, but so I'm looking at probably minimally a 6-hour meeting, maybe we have a lunch break or something like
Well, even if we
that.
don't do it all in one meeting,
Oh, yeah.
if we meet for an hour and a half, get it
And get
started,
started.
and then reschedule one
Yeah.
for a week or two later.
Because-
This doesn't have to be done tomorrow, but we need to get started,
Right.
otherwise we're never gonna get
We're
it.
gonna create a Bible on this
Right.
thing, because, you know, something where it says, this is what we mean. And when you use the words like must and shall, you know, we have to be really careful about some of that stuff, because
And we've got
obviously
areas
people
that
right
need
now.
the lots are so small,
Right,
some of those, we could have a fence up to the
Right.
property line.
right. I mean, we've
As long
got,
as it's 4 feet or less, you know,
if this were a lot,
professionally.
if this were a lot right here, I have examples of houses that are sitting almost on it. We have fence lines that are within the normal requirements for drives and stuff like that. But everything has been written or unwritten over the past decades, off of the street, off of the property lines, with easements and all these other things, with houses sitting all over the place.
I never realized that there were so many people here that didn't realize what the property line was.
Yeah,
Everybody thinks it's to the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, the street, you can't have a
And
measurement from
you
a
get a
very-
survey or assign it or buy a piece of property and you're gonna get that.
Yeah.
That tells you that this is your,
Anything you measure from needs to be a permanent thing. A street's not permanent, doesn't move. Property line stays there. The
Right.
street, if somebody comes in and paves it, then they extend it a foot further than the last people.
Right.
right.
That's a variable
Yeah.
reference. You gotta have a reference that's
And,
nailed in the ground.
and I understand that the property that we got next to our house is, that back property or back fence is right on the property line.
right.
I want to point out that our current mayor has a vision, and we need to try to respect that. Her vision is to improve the city and make it
Going
look
forward,
better and
going
attract more people and so forth. And that's I think we should honor that and try to stick with it, because when my wife and I were in South Texas in January, February, we were driving, looking for a place. I forgot what we were looking for. It had an address, and we were driving through, we got in a residential area. Thought, oh, this is a little business. And so we're driving in this residential area, and I almost took pictures, because I thought, here's a perfect example. It was a relatively poor neighborhood, which most of our city is. I say poor relative to some place like Frisco. And so we saw these older homes, some little bitty, some a little bit bigger, some run down, some not, and they had, a number of them had regular chain link fences. And some of them were stopped about halfway back of the house, in other words, a backyard fence. Some stopped at the front of the house, so it still didn't have anything in the front yard. And some had the fence all the way out, encircling the entire property. And I was looking at the contrast, we can talk about details later, but I was looking at the contrast of how that looked, the vision, how you want a city to look.
Right.
And so it's something we need to think about. When
Yeah.
we start talking about these details, how do we want this to look, and what looks neater and better? I personally don't like the fence down the street around the property with nothing on it but a few little odds and ends, no home or anything, but you got a fence out within a few feet of the alibi.
Right.
I personally don't like it, but it's just my own opinion.
And
Those are the kind of things
And going along with what Bubba just said, that once we establish this, that person down the street, wherever to build there, that fence line, go back and we say this is a standard. from now on.
Yeah.
It's gonna come off the corners of the house, it's not gonna come in front of the house. We have so many places in town where you can see the house sitting back there surrounded by the fence line, and with a little backyard maybe, with a big front yard, like on Wyatt or a couple of houses there. I'm just saying, every example you could possibly have of a lot, we've got, houses sitting all over the place, like we were just describing about that neighborhood. And going forward, we want to be more uniform. And the only way we can do that is to build this Bible up of saying this is the way it should be
The
done.
storage building is always an issue, because the ordinance says it's gotta be 40 feet from the street, from the property line road. Well, if the home is not many lots through the street, or if the home was 50 feet back, so you're gonna have a storage building 10 feet in front of, do we want that or not? We need to decide. Or do we want to say not beyond the front of the home, or I don't know, just.
So that makes it difficult when we start telling them because personally, I would like to build a storage building on, I would like to build a three-car garage on the two lots next to us.
That's swimming pool.
On a swimming pool in the back.
Oh, okay.
That's why I don't want to put my garage back there. But I would like to take, we're using the Circle Drive now that they didn't have before. And I would like to be able to pull the boat through the Circle Drive and straight into the storage building. But that's gonna make my storage building about 10 or 15 feet in front of the house on the two lots.
You see, in some cases, and this is where it gets sticky, is in some cases if you can see what it's gonna look like, you say, what's wrong with that? Other places, depending on the size and the garage size of the house, the age, some cases it looks funny to have a storage building the first thing you see on the street, so. I mean, a lot of houses that, especially attached garages, the garage may stick out further than the house.
A full 20 or 30 feet because of the length of it,
So
the
those are,
extension of the house.
as you go through this section by section, as a group, I think we'll realize that, okay, and we can do all this what if, we say, well, why don't we have it where this many feet, whether it's a storage building or whatever. And then we can do what ifs, the other side of the table, say, wait a minute, what if we did this, and what if it, and maybe by the time we get all these what ifs done, we can come up with an agreed way to say it, and then one of us, or me or whoever, I'll take it home and write it like I understood everybody to say. And that's the only way we're ever gonna get this
It's a
down.
complicated subject because, you've got places that look like compounds. I mean, you've got so many different buildings inside the fence lines where there is no fence line, they're just haphazardly scattered around. And town is never gonna be improved unless we come up with some kind of guideline that says this is, we're moving forward because we can't expect people to have it on their property right now to do anything about it, but you can certainly say if you tear this building down, this shed, and your house is sitting back here and the shed's sitting right on the property line in the front, that once that shed goes down, that maybe we could incorporate into our guidelines that shed needs to be put back behind the fence line. The fence line should come down to the corners of the house and no further from the property line. I mean, we have to say something for the future that's gonna be all encompassing, that'll catch all of those caveats that we have. So,
And I agree.
It's gonna be tough
It is.
to say, even when we get down to materials, because now the metal is so popular.
Yeah.
Not just as a metal building to live in, but as trim, as.
Yeah.
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 And when we turn around and tell them, hey, you can't have metal trim,
But you can have a metal roof.
but you can have metal roof.
Did you know that you can't, if you have a mobile home with a metal, did you know that according to the ordinance, as I understand it, you can't put in a storage building. The storage building has to be
Exactly, it can't match.
stucco or
Right.
all this, I mean, it's like, it doesn't make sense, so we need to go through this and clean it up.
Yeah.
First, I was just gonna make all the changes in if it's contradicted, like there's places that, one place that says 5 feet, another place that says 6 feet. I was just gonna make all those corrections, at least get something done, but the more I go through it, I'm thinking, we need to sit down as a group, and
There's a lot more in there than.
we're not gonna get it perfect.
Why don't we try to do that? Why don't we try to
I
get
stopped
them
over,
somehow and
not
at
called
least start it
Piper's house.
and say, let's, this is gonna be an ongoing thing until we put a book
It
together.
may take 10 meetings of.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
hours each.
Or more, because we've got so many different little sections that we're gonna have to, those, the cabin lots. We may have to treat those differently as far as the fence goes.
Yeah.
Because if they got little children.
Yeah.
You don't want them running out into the street. They, may be able to do a specific type of fence across the fence.
Well, it's like,
We could do that.
it's like Mr. Bridges coming in earlier and having a lot and thinks that he can build a 600 square foot. We have to be able to say, like we just did, according to what our ordinance says right now, you're in an area that's 1,200 square feet. And is it our job to have him to think about putting a 2-story or buying a second lot you know, if it's possible. I mean, is that our responsibility? To come up with some kind of an alternative so that he can build a house on that. We want homes built. We want to
But as-
build right.
As a citizen, we're trying to be neighborly to him.
Yeah.
Say, hey, this is part of the guidelines.
I mean, we can't change the, well, I guess we could if the council approved, but what I'm saying is to build a 600 square foot lot on a 1,200 square foot, we can't do that. We know that that's a steadfast rule, even with our committee meeting and putting the final ordinance together that says you're in a 1,200 square foot minimum air conditioning zone. So here are your alternatives. You can put a 600 square foot footprint, but you have to put your storage.
So, those of you who have other commitments like jobs, et cetera, what y'all suggest what day of the week, what hours, whatever that we can get together, and then we from there reschedule another one. Again, I'm not looking for something where we vote. I'm talking about a workshop
Oh,
where we,
yeah, right.
in some
Well,
organization.
we take a section and we start
Section by
from there.
section and talk about it.
Section by section, yeah. Break the ice.
So we can stay consistent all through.
Right.
So
I agree.
availability or,
And don't forget that you cannot meet in a workshop unless it's 72 hours notice. It has to be posted.
okay.
It has to be an open meeting.
Has to be open.
You cannot have a closed meeting
That's fine.
when you have a quorum.
No, I have no issue with that. I'm just,
But I
somebody
just
wants
want
to
to let you know
listen.
that when you schedule.
Or we could schedule.
And we really have to have
every
a quorum to
Tuesday
get this
evening
done
or
right.
something.
Somebody wants to sit through our
And
board
then we could.
in detail,
Yeah.
maybe that's, we're welcome. Like I said, I'm, we'll just look at our calendars and agree on starting with this, at least, even if it's not the same day every week, whatever, or every month, or however we want to do this. I just want something to get us started, and then when that meeting, schedule another one, when that meeting, schedule another one. It doesn't have to be the same, unless y'all prefer it to be the same day or night. You want night in your case?
In my case, it would always be better in the evening. Like a couple of days.
What's the in the evening, starting when? What time?
I usually leave, if I can get away from the office by 4 o'clock, that's our close time. If I have to leave early, I can.
So what,
Unless my main guy doesn't make it anymore. I can't let it go.
so what would you suggest as a start time?
Probably 6.
David, does that work?
Yeah, I have, the first Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday, the first Monday. You got officers meeting for the night of Columbus and then Tuesday meeting at 5. Sometimes they go over to 6, but that's about it, first Tuesday.
So what day of the week?
Does
I
it
said,
have
even
to
if it's
be
just,
Tuesday or?
even just as on a meeting, and from there we try
Yeah,
to.
but
Yes, we can do that. So, any other-
well, we don't want to push you, if you're not gonna get out till 6, so we can pick a different day.
Yeah, a different day, it's fine.
So, what day?
On Wednesday?
Wednesday?
So which Wednesday do we want to start this, next?
Next Wednesday's the 13th, the next one is the 20th, and the 26th.
We'll shoot for next Wednesday.
I'll do that,
What that evening?
next Wednesday at 6.
Yeah, I'm 13th. I have to be at the wrong, but I'm hopefully back.
So
Six.
you want to, I can make the following Wednesday?
That'd be better.
I'm just looking for getting something started.
To
Like I
get
said, we're- I don't
Yeah, no,
expect
that's good. That's
And even, well, it's gotta be.
Would Thursday be better?
Thursday. That's fine.
my Thursday work.
Thursday,
The 14th.
14th?
Hold on, let me look.
Yeah, 14th,
Yeah, I can do 14.
6 PM here. Because they have the 72-hour announcement.
At 6?
Because if we don't get this 31 ordinance changed, that's for now until. It's pretty complicated. It is. I know over Star Harbor, they worked on it for well over a year before they had to.
And this one is so complicated because we have so many different little.
Again, I don't think we're gonna get every detail perfect, but if we can just get the concept of, I struggle with what we even mean on some of these things in the ordinance. What does that mean? What's their intent?
That's right.
So if
Yeah.
we can just get those down, and we get it in writing, you get it revised, over the next year, there are gonna be things come up that we're gonna say, we need to change this, if we didn't realize that, that's fine.
Yes.
We gotta start somewhere.
Belinda can, I guess, so this all a new copy because I've got my own.
I have about 3 copies now.
Yeah.
I've marked up.
I've marked up several of mine.
I'm working on my last one now where I'm trying to minimize I found that a lot of mine were questions and not, that's why I finally said, if there's many questions, if they're just corrections, that's fine, but when you come into things like, what are we really trying to say here, or what do we mean, and that's where I've filled up one
Right.
completely of notes and questions and everything.
Do you want a printed copy sent to you, or do you want it?
I can print it, it's just in the PDF or shove it on Word.
Yeah, they're all Word documents. You-
So it's
I
in your
think
Word
you-
document.
I think you can go on the website.
It's a PDF.
Well, is it on there?
I can print it, but if she's got a Word document, I can go in and make changes and highlight.
Is it a Word document on the website?
It's a PDF.
That's a PDF.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah,
If she's got it in Word, that would be nice, just for us to be able
They
to
were,
go.
they were all created in Word.
Yeah, that would be nice for us to be able to go in and take this paragraph and make highlights and.
there are even, I even have some structural changes of indentation.
Yes.
Not just cosmetic things that make it so much easier to read there are places that
And it's just so long.
the
It's
letters
such
are
a long document.
Oh, God.
on this much on one page, the next page, that same letter is indented this much, and like totally lost trying to read it. It just makes it so much easier to read if we
That's because the version is what, R or something? It's So many times it's been changed.
I-L-I-A. The version, what version? 31,
we're in,
Redwood J.
31J?
J.
31, yeah.
Something like that.
no, we're on,
K? I don't mean K, I think, what?
K is gonna be the next one.
K will be the next one.
Yes.
J.
We're in J.
So that's something.
Which
Changed
makes
10
sense.
times.
Yeah,
Which makes sense.
so you got, all these different,
I got so many questions.
yeah.
Get hung up on that, sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on. Item 9. Seems to be a text.
There were none. There were no.
Okay, well, take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Motion passed. Adjourn.
So we're gonna have the meeting on Thursday.
Who
Thursday.
seconded? Who seconded?
Well,
Well,
Adjourn. You take it up.
May
She's
14th,
busy.
May 14th, right, at 6?
May 14th, 6 P.M.
well, that's good. Shot it. I know it's pretty much, something to really is. So, you know what the thing was, they almost tried to make every zone fit the same criteria, and I don't think
We can't do that.
Yeah, that's what that cabin, you're
Right.
talking about those cabins, and you're trying to compare it to a house that's being built for 1,800 square feet or something like that, and you got some little, like the gentleman that's here.
Right.